Well, hello, and welcome to my predictions for the 2011, British Open Championship. Um, at the U.S. Open, we did a lot. I did some predictions, some summaries of the United States Open this year, and it was a lot of fun. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I'm here to help us get through this next step, this third major of the year. Um, People have been asking me who do I think is going to be victorious. And this is perhaps even harder than the U.S. Open because it is a links golf course. I mean, this course, the Royal St. George's, is where this British Open Championship is going to be held. And people want to know, well, the last time it was hosted here, Ben Curtis was triumphant, and won the championship. Was the only player to finish under par at 1 under par. He was ranked 396th in the world at the time. That's the biggest long shot victory of well, really the modern era, probably any era. Even Francis Ouimet probably would have had better odds if they would have even had rankings back then. So the question becomes then, who is going to win this thing? We look and we see American golf, they say, is in a state of decline, and there's no American player that's gonna, that's, look at the winners. Stuart Sink won in '09. I mean, you had some guys. Todd Hamilton won this thing in '04. Ben Curtis in '03. Tiger Woods won it a few times in between then, and it's hard to buy into an American is not going to be close to winning this one, at least. I mean, there's too many great golfers of all ages, really, in American golf right now, and there's a lot of young guys willing to stake a claim. There's golfers from almost every continent that I think that can win. Jason Day from Australia has a great chance. I mean, he runner up in the Masters and the U.S. Open. No one's even mentioned him. I think he's got a good chance to win this one. Lee Westwood. You talk about the Big Four. I'm going to refer to the Big Four. Lee Westwood, Luke Donald, Martin Keimer, Rory McIlroy. People want to know, do I think Rory McIlroy will win? And I'll get right to it. I think he's got a chance. I think he's got a pretty good chance. But I think we will know if he will win tomorrow, say around 9. And I'll be up at 4 in the morning watching, because there is supposed to be strong wind gust. And if he does not, strong wind gust tomorrow morning, and if he does not get off to a good start, his chances don't look very good. So we'll just say that off right now. It looks like he may have drawn the worst possible slot for tee times, because it looks like the wind gusts are going to be strong Thursday morning and Friday afternoon. Knowing that today, I think his chances of winning have gone down slightly. Phil Mickelson has never fared well in this event. He's not fared well in the first two majors. I hope he does well. I'll be rooting for him. I'm not expecting him to win. If he does, I will be overjoyed. So you say, who does that leave on the American side? Well, I think I like Jason Day. I like McIlroy. I like Lee Westwood and Luke Donald. Luke Donald just won last week. Lee Westwood's been playing well, obviously, all year. Martin Keimer has made a lot of cuts in British Opens, and he's about due for a pretty good performance. I mean, I don't really think he'll win. I like Lee Westwood a lot this week, and I just have a feeling. It's like a gut feeling. I mean, it's hard to explain why, but I just feel like it might be his time, and especially after seeing what Rory McIlroy just did and being overshadowed so much now. He's number 2 in the world, and he needs a major championship title, and whether it's this week or whether it's the PGA in the August, or whether it's next year at the Masters. I mean, it's gonna be soon. I think. So it's just a matter of timing. People ask, well, who's got a good chance out of the Americans? Well, obviously Nick Watney, Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler, um, Bo Van Pelt, and it's funny I'm even mentioning this, but Bo Van Pelt, he had a tie for 8th at the Masters, a tie for 14th at the U.S. Open. Even if I was not a Richmond native, even if I was not a fan of Bo Van Pelt, I mean, he's ranked 38th in the world now. I mean, he's had 2 top 15 finishes in majors. He can't be overlooked. I mean, what the man needs is a good run and not to make some mistakes down the stretch, and he can contend. This course let anyone contend. We saw that 8 years ago with Ben Curtis. He was warming up on the driving range. He said, Ben Curtis, you're the Open champion. It could be anyone's week this week. This one is fairly wide open. The course, there's going to be strong wind gusts. There's going to be a lot of rain. I don't see the winner being much better than a few under par, maybe even over par this week will be the champion. The champion will be over par, perhaps. Who knows? Um, so, I mean, I see that, and I've debated this question: who's going to win this title? It's almost better to think about who's not going to win this title. Tiger Woods, DNP. He's definitely not going to win. I like Steve Stricker, and people are going to say, well, he has not had great finishes in this tournament. I'm going to say, well, yeah, he hasn't. But 2007, 2008, he had like a tie for 7th and a tie for 8th, and he's been there. And he's just coming off a great win at the John Deere Classic. I mean, he's got a chance. And if you want to bet for an underdog, if it happens, say you heard it here first, world, you heard it here first. 2 years ago at Turnberry, we saw Tom Watson win, well, almost win at the age of 59. Sometimes, yeah, I wake up and I cry for a few hours because of it. But I think that what I'm about to say may come as a shock. Tom Watson at the age of 61, and the way the course is going to be played at 7,200 yards, it's short enough so that he can contend. He's the greatest links player of all time. Yes, he is 61. He just came off a win at the Senior PGA a couple months ago. His hip is doing great. He says he's been putting the ball better than he has in years. The course is short enough so that he can contend. Guys, wake up and smell the roses. I mean, this could be Tom Watson's moment. He's a complete underdog, more so than maybe he even was. But to not acknowledge that he has a potential opportunity to not only win, but to win in his 60s. I truly believe, if I did not think that this was possible, I would not be mentioning, but because of the course, the slopes of the course, it's going to require some knee knockers, some trickery. I mean, he's the greatest links player of all time. The course, they're going to move some tees up because of the wind. Guys, Tom Watson has a chance this week, if he plays well, to win the 2011 British Open. Just go ahead and savor that for a little bit. I'm not saying I'm picking him, and it was my final pick. Maybe it'll come back to bite me, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Lee Westwood. Who cares? I picked the last one right. If I would say McIlroy, if McIlroy does win, I'm gonna be happy. Like it's gonna be 2 in a row. It's gonna be a big deal, but I'll just go ahead and say Lee Westwood to play devil's advocate. Whatever. I don't really care. I'm just going to be enjoying watching the tournament this week, and I'll see some feedback from everyone else. If I skipped over any names that some young American golfers that you think could win, and I think I mentioned everyone that was off the top of my head. Obviously, another guy that I think might come back from the depths of despair this week well, 2 guys, Sergio Garcia and Padraig Harrington. I think you may hear from them come the weekend. Patty's been trying a return to form here recently, so Alright, well, I'll sign off. Those are my good predictions for this week, and hopefully Tom Watson does back it up. Otherwise, I don't want to sound like an idiot. Even if he gets a top 15 finish, I mean, I think that would be extraordinary at his age. So I'm going to sign off. I'll talk to you later, and whatever. See ya.